right, welcome everybody to our Down and Dirty at 1:30 Central. We are here on the 4th day of January, the very beginning of 2016. And I wanted to make a hangout of all hangouts to kind of give us an overview, a big picture view of how to really kick this year into gear. That's hard to say, it rhymes. So I hope you guys are ready. I see several of you out there. I just wanted to shout out to those that I see live. I see Heidi, good to see you there. Richard, great to see your name pop up. Charlene, hey, how are you, girl? So I'm glad to see that some of you are able to make it to our live hangout. So awesome. All right, so with that said, let me flip my screen around here and I'm going to kick us off. I have a presentation put together. We've got all kinds of wonderful things to go through today. So here we go. All right, hopefully everybody can see my screen and I haven't lost you. So here is the beginning of our presentation, and this hangout today is how to supersize your 2016. So we are only 4 days into the brand new year, and even if you're watching this as a recording, I am a true believer that you can make your year the best year no matter when you're watching this. Okay, I have many times in my life, I have started maybe the last 3 months into a year, and I've been able to make that year even better than it was before. But I will tell you, it's a lot easier if you start early. So what I want to do right now is first just share a little story with you. And it may be better actually, and I'm sorry I'm bouncing around, but I am going to flip back around while I share this story because I think that it'll help you to really get the feel for what everything's all about. So give me a second here. I'm going to flip it back around. All right, so this is a story. It probably has to do with something that you can remember, and that is, have you ever been stuck in the mud in your vehicle? Have you ever had that happen where you've been in a vehicle, maybe you've been off-road a little bit, maybe you were in a parking lot that was dirt or something and you got caught in the mud? Or maybe if you live in snow country, you got your vehicle caught in the snow or ice and you couldn't get out. I'm sure a lot of you have been there. I know I have it multiple times. But the first time that it happened to me, I really didn't know what to do. And what happened with me is I was a teenager. I had borrowed my dad's truck. He had let me borrow it, I should say, to go to this event. And I went to this event. It was like a party for some friends. And when I got there, the parking lot was dirt, and it had rained really hard, and there was hardly any parking spots, and so I had to park, out in like the grass and mud area. And so after the party, I came back out, and it had rained more after this event. And when I came back out, the tires had sunk into the mud even more than when I first pulled in. And I had never been stuck in the mud before, but I got in the truck and turned the ignition, and you probably know where this is going. And I tried to move the truck, and it didn't. It just spun. The wheels just spun. I wasn't getting out. In fact, so then what do you do if you don't know how to get out of the mud? I thought, well, I'll just hit the accelerator, because most of the cars had already left by this time. I'll just hit the accelerator really hard, and it'll get me right out of the mud. Well, when I did that, what do you think happened? Well, what it did was it just dug me deeper down into the mud. And so now I was really stuck, because now I've got a big divot in the ground from me spinning my tires even more rapidly. Okay, so how do you get out of the mud if you've never been stuck, or how do you get out of ice? So if this happens, so what I ended up doing, because I was a young girl, is I called my dad, because most of the party goers were gone. And so I called my dad, and he came out with my mom's car, and he showed me how to get out. He said, well, number one, he says, you need something that's going to give you traction. And number two, he says, you can't gun it to get it out of the mud. When you want to get out of the mud or get unstuck, you have to go a little bit slowly, just barely push on the accelerator so you can rock forward even just an inch so that you can get out of that mud. And so you also need traction, right? And by this point, I'd kind of destroyed all the traction because I'm really deep down in the mud. So he went and he found a board. He had brought a board actually in my mom's car, and he stuck the board underneath the wheels. And then he got in the truck, and he slowly pulled forward, and he rolled up on the board, and instantly the truck was out of the mud. He got it out of the parking lot. So, the key there is traction and slow and steady pace, right? Well, it's the same thing with ice, right? If you're stuck in a snowbank or something like that, you can't spin your tires real fast because all you're going to do is just skid out, right? So you would put down something that gives you traction, like sand or ice melt, or a lot of people in snow country carry pieces of old carpet in the back of their truck or their car so that they can put under the wheels. So, you have to think like this. And the reason I wanted to share this story is because this is really how our life is. I'm sure many of you got the correlation there, is that we get stuck in a rut, and we do some things where we either hit the accelerator as fast as we can, saying, all right, I'm going to get out of this rut right now. You're motivated. It's the beginning of the year. You're going to get out of it right now. And you're just going to, boom, hit that accelerator and pull out. Well, you may take off, you may get lucky and actually not dig a deeper rut, you may get out, but you may burn out your tire too, because you're spinning your wheels so rapidly, and you may burn yourself out and not complete your New Year's resolution if you made those goals. Okay, so if that's you, I want to show you a different way that you can model your life over the next year and get out of the rut if you're stuck in a rut, or if you're not quite stuck in a rut but you're concerned about getting stuck in a rut later on down the year once your New Year's resolutions aren't so new. I'm going to show you how you can keep that momentum and traction going forward so that you can have the level of success that you'd like in the year. Does that sound good? All right, so let me flip it back around. Now that I'm on track again, right? I'm back on traction. I'm going to flip it back around, and I'll show you my screen. All right, so let's go on to the next slide. So I want you to consider this before we really dive deep into some steps and some things that you can put together for your year. So what if, and I hope this doesn't happen to you, but what if a doctor came to you today and said, you only have this year to live? This is it for you. I'm sorry, this is the last year of your life. Would you do anything differently? What would you strive to accomplish in your life before your life terminated this year? How would you live your life? How would you live your days? Think about that. And I'm not trying to get all morbid, but I think about this a lot because it keeps me focused on what's really important. Because before I never would have thought these things. This is kind of it's sad to think that you may not have another day. But when you start thinking this way, all the little minuscule things that we turn, we turn a molehill into a mountain. This goes away when you start thinking, what if this is it for you? And I hope it isn't. I mean, knock on wood over here that, you don't get hit by a bus or something. But I want you to consider that every moment, every second of your day, of your life, it's your life. It's your movie. You are creating this for your life, for your children, for your legacy. And it's important to me. If it's not important to you yet, I hope it is. It gets there. It's important to me that you live it to its fullest potential. And so that's really what inspired me to put this particular hangout together. Is I want to help take you to your fullest potential so that you can truly start living your year as if your very life depended on it. And when you start doing that, you accomplish so many amazing things. And isn't it kind of a neat feeling? I don't know if you've ever been in what I call the flow, where you are accomplishing something really big. Maybe you've worked on this big project, and you in the middle of working on it, and now you've accomplished it. You have this sense of elation, like, wow, I'm doing this. I'm accomplishing something amazing. And it lifts you up when you're in that flow. Where we get stuck is when we don't know where to turn. We don't feel like we're making a difference. We don't feel like our business is growing as rapidly as we want it to. We don't feel like we're hitting the goals. We don't feel like we're getting to the gym as much as we should. Maybe we're not eating properly. Whatever it is, it's those moments that we get stuck in the mud. So if you start looking at things from the big picture view of, wow, this is my life, this is just a small moment in my life, and I'm going to take daily action to make it better, all of a sudden you start feeling better, you start taking more and more positive actions, and you start creating more success in your life and in those around you. All right, so I hope that inspires you. So let me kind of share with you now the whole topic and what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to be sharing with you today the 10x rule and how you can use that to your advantage. I'm also going to be sharing ways that you can find income to start a new business if that's one of your goals this year. I'm going to give you my secret weapon for success. And it's not so secret, but it sounds cool, right? If it's a secret weapon that you have in your back pocket for success. I'm also going to tell you how you can tap into the same resources that I use in order to build a life and a business around my passions. And you'll be surprised, you can tap into it pretty easily. And then finally, I'm going to end with a menu of the next 10 down and dirty hangouts that I'm planning on doing. And these are all based on emails, suggestions, text messages, or conversations that I've had with you, many of you at least, that are on this hangout right now. So you may recognize some of these and go, oh yeah, I asked you to do that hangout. So I've compiled some of the most popular ones that have been requested multiple times, and I'm going to share those with you. And I tell you what, well, I'll just wait till the end, but I'm gonna ask you a question at the end. So try to stay on at the end because I'd like you to be a part of something that I'm doing. All right, so let's go to the first one. What is the 10x rule? So recently, I read a book by Grant Cardone. It's called The 10x Rule. You may have read it. It's a good book. It's got some really powerful, inspirational, and motivational speech in there on how you can 10x your life. So let me explain what it is. 10x basically means that everything that you want to do in life requires more effort, more energy than you think it does, right? It's going to require, like, let's say you wanted to build a new house. Let's just use that as an example. So you wanted to build a brand new house. It's going to require, in general, 10 times more money. It's going to take 10 times more time. It's going to require 10 times more focus and more decision making than you imagined it would from the beginning. If any of you have ever built a house from scratch, it's quite the challenge. So, if you already know right now that everything's going to require more energy and action, then what if from the get-go you set your goal really high, or you set your budget or your life really high, and you just multiplied it by 10? And you say, okay, well, I know it's going to take at least 10 times more of everything to accomplish what goals I have. So I'm going to put forth 10 times more energy and action in order to produce success. Now, I'm not saying to go out there and kill yourself, but what I am saying to do is, if you could focus, just focus for a limited period of time, even 30 days, and give it all your energy and action without turning back, you're going to start to see success. Okay, so here are the 4 levels of action that most of us do. So the first one is, we live in this thing called action and no action. So this is how New Year's resolutions fail. You're probably familiar with this. So a lot of us, we set these great goals, and at the beginning in January, when are the health clubs the most busy? Yeah, they're busy right now. Everybody's signing new gym memberships in January. They're taking action. They're like motivated to lose that weight and get in shape. But then that's followed by around end of February, March. That's when the health clubs take a big dip, because people who started their New Year's resolution, all of a sudden they aren't taking action anymore. They're not getting to the gym like they planned on doing. And now just the regulars, as they call them, the people that have been there from the beginning, are there again. Maybe one or two actually sticks with it, but most people, they take action for a limited period of time and then they immediately revert to no action. Maybe they hit a stumbling block, a challenge that they weren't expecting, and so they now go to no action. And then all of a sudden they get motivated again. They're like, okay, I'm going to take action. Then they take action, and then the next day they're like, oh, no, I don't feel like it. I'm not going to take action. So that is the first level of action, and then a lot of us are in that. The second level is retreat. This is what happens when somebody feels that they are not making a difference, or they've reached a challenge and they don't feel like they can overcome it. They quit, basically. So, you know, that's this health club philosophy that I just shared with you, is, you know, they'll start working out hard, and then all of a sudden it gets hard. They're like, wow, I'm more out of shape than I thought I was. And so then they go to no action, and hopefully they go back to taking action, but more than likely they will retreat. They'll just quit. And they'll just say, well, I don't think the gym's for me. It's just too hard. Right? So that's the other type of action that people take. Then the next level is normal action. These are people that, you know, are somewhat successful in whatever goal that they set, and they're taking normal action. And that means that, you know, they are committed to their goal, but what they did in order to achieve their goals, they maybe reduced the target down. Okay, so rather than saying, hey, I'm going to go to the gym, you know, 5 times a week and work out for an hour, perhaps they said, you know what, I think I'm just going to go like 2 times a week or 3 times a week, because that's when I can get there. And so, and maybe they're committed, and maybe they do continue to go 2 times a week, but they don't they don't see the type of progress or success that they would if they had a much bigger goal. Okay, I'm using exercise as an example, but really this could be for anything. This could be for your business. So, you know, a lot of you are in business for yourself, you are watching this, or you're planning to be. And that's one of the things that you might do, is you take normal action. You know, you work on your business a little bit every day. Maybe you're making budget, or maybe you're not. But you're not having the level of success that you really want. You're not producing the result that you really, really desire. So that's when it gets to the 4th degree of action. And the 4th degree of action is what I call massive action, or this 10x rule. If you've read the book, that's what they talk about in the book. And so the 4th degree means that you are going to keep moving forward every day, no matter what. Even if it's hard, even if you don't want to, even if nobody else is doing it, you're going to keep moving forward. No matter how small, you're going to go. So an example of a 4th degree massive action versus just normal action, for example, this would be a person, going back to our health club example, who starts up a membership at a health club, and they commit that they're going to go to the gym, you know, 5 days a week, or maybe they say, I'm going to go 7 days a week. And they commit that they are going to be there at least 1 hour every day of the week. So this person, when they're taking action, they're going to go to the gym every day, whether they feel like it or not. They're going to keep going, because their goal is to reach a level of fitness that, you know, that they want. And they may not lift as heavy of weight some days that they're there, but they're there because they made a commitment, and they're taking massive action. They said they were going to go there 7 days a week, so they are. So, you know, to me, that's somebody that is consistent. Really, that's what the 4th degree is consistently moving forward. You know, even if it's inch by inch by inch, if you consistently move forward, you are going to be so much farther than anybody else, that success is bound to happen for you, no matter what you're looking to have success in. Okay, that's really the secret. So if you were to 10x something, here's what you would do. Okay, this is your quick formula. So if you don't have time to read the book, although I believe that everybody has time, I listen to books. I think I've shared this on several hangouts, but I do a lot of commuting kids. I have two sons, so I commute them to different things such as scouts and karate and school and things like that. So when I'm in the car after dropping them off, I listen to my books. So I get them on Audible on my phone and I listen to them. So it's a great way to make sure that I'm reading every day. So here is 5 things that you can do in order to 10x any goals that you have and to help you to achieve them. Because if you 10x it, let's just give another example. Let's say that you want to make $100,000 this year. Okay. If you don't hit it, let's say that you just set it as $100,000. If you don't hit it, you're going to be disappointed because that was your goal, right? Your goal, your real goal that you want, your reasonable goal is to hit $100,000. So maybe you hit 10,000 of that. So you're probably not going to be happy. You're going to feel like a failure and you're going to feel like you're not doing what you should have done. But let's say that you have a goal of hitting $100,000 and you 10x it. If you 10x that goal, that's $1 million. Okay. So what would you do in order to hit $1 million? Now that may seem like a really far-fetched goal to you. I don't know. Maybe some of you are already earning that. I don't know. So whatever, 10x, whatever you think is the reasonable goal. So increase it by 10 times. And here is the beauty of it. It goes back to the Bruce Lee quote that shoot for the moon. Even if you don't hit it, you'll land among the stars. Right? So that's the same thing with your goals. If you hit a goal, a financial goal of reaching $1 million by the end of the year, and you take action every day to reach that goal, there is a very good chance that you will hit your original lower income goal of $100,000. Does that make sense? So I am challenging you to stretch your goals to something really big. Okay, and then every day take actions towards that goal as if you're trying to aim for the bigger goal, because most of us will not hit the bigger goal just because of what we talked about earlier with action and no action and not multiplying your actions every day. So by doing that, by multiplying your goal from the get-go and doing everything to hit that goal, you will in fact hit the lower income goal. All right. I truly believe that. Now, obviously, I can't guarantee your success in anything. I don't know you. I don't know your personality, and I don't know if you're actually going to take action. But I can tell you that if that's something you want, that's what successful people do. Okay. All right. So how do you do that? So number one, write down exactly what you want, your goals. Now, your goals are not, I want to teach you a different way to do it. Many of you have gone through how to write down goals, good goals. I'm going to tell you a different way to do it. I want you to write down what it is that you want. So let's say you have an income goal. Let's say that you have a weight goal if you're trying to lose weight. Maybe you have a personal goal that you'd like to achieve. Maybe you're looking for a new wife or a new husband. So whatever those goals are, write down exactly what it is that you want. Don't write down the details. Just write down what it is you want. Okay. Then underneath that, write down 3 actions that you can take each day. Okay, now you're going to do this every day. You're going to actually review your goals every single day, and every day underneath what you want, you're going to write down 3 actions each day and take those actions each day. Okay, now I don't want you to worry about how you're going to reach that goal. What I want you to worry about is what you're going to do to start heading you towards that goal. Okay, so when you take actions, it's what you're going to do. It's not how, because you can always find people that can show you how. But the biggest key is what you are going to do. Okay, so then the fourth part is what actions can you do at this moment in time, like immediately, in order to reach your goals. I mean, you may not reach it right immediately, but what action can you do right now to help you get on the track to reaching that goal. And it could be as simple as picking up the phone. Maybe you need to call somebody that can help you figure out something with your business. That's an action that you could do right now to do that, to get your business goals closer to being reached. And then this is the big key. 90% of people write down, or I'm sorry, 90% of people, I read this statistic on New York Times website recently, 90% of people who write down their goals never review them. Okay, they never review them. They write them down and then they put that piece of paper away, or they store it someplace. Maybe it's digital, and they don't review it. Maybe they'll review it at the end of the year and see if they hit it around New Year's, but they don't review it. So here's the thing: if 10% of the people review their list, and only 1% of those people review their list every day, that tells me right there that I need to be reviewing my list, because I want to 10x my life. So I'm going to write down what I want. I'm going to take 3 actions each day towards what I want. I'm not going to worry how I'm going to get there, or the little details and little actions, but I'm going to just do whatever it is that I feel is going to move me in that goal. And I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do one thing right now when I get done with this hangout. So if you do that every day, you're going to start seeing massive progress in your life. Okay? All right. So here's the next topic. I hope that you guys are still with me, and that I haven't bored you yet, and you're getting some of this down, because this was some good advice that I actually got from my own mentor. Okay? So how do you find income to start a new business? This was a topic that was asked of me recently, and it's been asked many times. And I wanted to share that with you, because that seems to be a big stumbling block for a lot of folks, is they want to make a change. They want to start a new business, but they don't know how they can even afford it. And there are costs. If you believe, or you've been sold to believe, that you can start a business free of charge, that person is being completely untruthful to you. Okay, and here's why. Here's how I know that. Because in order to have a business, there are a lot of little fees that go along with that. You need to get a registered business name. You need to be incorporated, or get an LLC or a partnership or something going on. You've got fees to do that. You need to set up a business banking account. You have to have a minimum to start up a business banking account. You have to have software and ways to control it, and you also have to be able to manage your financial side of your business. There's taxes that we all have to pay. So there's always going to be income that's needed to start a new business, even if somebody claims that the opportunity is free to start, which all my red flags would go up if somebody said that, and I would wonder how legitimate the business is if there's no startup cost. So I just want to throw that out there, because I've had people say, oh, well, I shouldn't have to pay you to start a business. Well, all right, anyhow, I'll move on. So let me show you some ways. These are my top 5 favorite ways that you can fund a new business, if that's one of your goals this year. So the first way is to, right now, if you're working a job for somebody else, or maybe you're working, whatever you're doing, maybe you're doing little side jobs, save 10% of every single check that comes in. Okay, every single check. I guarantee you that you can live on 10% of your income. No matter where you are in your life, and you may be just scraping by right now, you can still figure out a way to live on less than 90%. You can live on 90% of your income. But the sooner you start getting in the habit of doing that, the sooner you're going to have a nice savings in which you can use to start a new business, to advertise, to make smart business choices. Okay, so I challenge you, rather than borrowing money and doing a bunch of other stuff that could get you in financial issue, is to start saving 10% of your income. And that may be, if you only earn $1, you only save 10% of it. But you have to continue to do that, because it will build. And then once you get a minimum amount saved up, start a bank account. If you're really starting small, maybe you don't even have $100 saved, start saving 10% of anything that comes in, and then once you reach a threshold of maybe $100, then start a business banking account. So a business banking account is going to help you, and you want to make sure that, or a savings account, so that you don't tap into it for other things. That's the biggest thing. You have to be disciplined enough to not tap into that savings. You have to think of it as hands off. You have to think of it as your dream money, that money does not exist except to start a business. Okay. So that's one way to do it, and it's been successful for a lot of people, and you'd be surprised how quickly, if you start doing this, that you can actually raise quite a bit of money. The second one is you can borrow money to start a business. You have to be careful with this, though. Obviously, when you borrow, especially from a lender, like a bank or a credit card or something like that, there's always fees involved. So you have to be aware of that, because you can get in trouble if you get in severe debt. But that is a way to do it. And investors are another way. Get somebody who has money, who's been saving their 10%, and ask them if they would be willing to invest in you and your business for a percentage of profit, or whatever type of deal you want to work out with them. Use other people's money to start a business. That's one of the ways that the Rich Dad Poor Dad book series, if you've read any of those, that's one of the ways that they teach on how you can start your own business. The fourth idea is to sell things, or get rid of things that you don't necessarily need. I'll give you an example. When I first started my business, there was a lot of things that I realized that we had subscriptions for that we just didn't need. Like for instance, the cable and satellite TV, the bill for that had gone up and up and up, and we really don't watch television as much, and it's not a main part of our life. We do a lot of things. We read a lot. We do things. My family and I like to go places. We like to travel. So we got rid of cable. We have not had any type of cable or satellite dish television for going on 6 years now. And so that's just one thing we got rid of. We got rid of magazine subscriptions, and just to not have those additional monthly expenses. And then since we were taking those away, instead of just saving 10%, I just put the money that I would have paid for cable or satellite and for those subscriptions, I put that in a savings account so that I had money to grow my business. Now, you may have, if you collect a lot of things, you may have things around you that you can sell in order to help you fund a business. It really comes down to how bad do you want it? How badly do you want a different life? If you want the life of your dreams, you're going to make sacrifices in order to get there. Think about this. An entrepreneur is somebody who makes sacrifices now and works hard now for several years so that they can have the life that everybody dreams about for the rest of their life. So if you start doing things now that might be a little painful right now for you or your family, but if on the tail end that you're going to build the life that you've always dreamed of, then at least for me, that was a no-brainer. Okay, so I'm just wanting to share that with you. And then finally, you can always find ways to make extra money. If you're creative, instead of saying, "Oh man, I don't have the money," here's a thing: start thinking about things that you know how to do well that you could use to fund a business. For instance, I do martial arts. I do karate. So one of the things that I did when I first got started was, if I had profits from my martial arts studio, I would save that, again, saving 10% of my income, and use that money to fund my business. You can also do extra work, like help. Like if you have a job, ask if there's any additional work that you could do or additional hours that you could get, so that you can have that money to save and start a new business. So these are my top 5. I hope that helps you if you're somebody that's looking to open a business this year. You can start by writing a list. Just get a piece of paper out and start thinking, how can I do it? And ideas will just start flowing. All right, let's go to the next one. My secret weapon for success. Are you ready for this? All right, here it is. Have a mentor or coach. And this is so important. I've had mentors or coaches for a very long time, multiple years. And in fact, I think the first mentor or coach I had was in 1998. So it's been a little while. I mean, business mentor. And, just find somebody or someone or a group of people, actually, it doesn't have to be one person, that is already having the level of success that you want. So let me give you an example. Earlier, we were talking about if you wanted to make $100,000 this year, that you should actually set your goal for $1 million, because then you'll hit it, right? You'll come closer to hitting it. So here's the thing that a lot of people don't think of. If you want to set your goal for $1 million, do you want a mentor who's only making $100,000 to coach you? No, you really don't. What you want is somebody who is already a millionaire to coach you. Okay. So, I'm just throwing that out there. You want to find people that are already resonating with where you want to be in your life. So they need to be there already. And don't be afraid to pick up the phone. And a lot of the people that you think are inaccessible are very accessible. You can pick up the phone and contact almost anybody. Some of them have, obviously, a little bit of a wall. You got to talk to an assistant. But if you're genuine and you're just asking for advice or suggestions, or you have 2 or 3 questions, you can literally reach anyone. So really think about that and look for a mentor or coach that can help you. So here are just some ideas if you're looking for coaching. One of the things that I do is I do business coaching. And recently we just completed a 10-week coaching program called Breakthrough Coaching by Team Tough. And all of those sessions were recorded. So think about this. You've got, close to 10 hours of personal coaching. Well, it's like group coaching is what it was. There were several people that were on the line, and we brought them out. And each session followed a workbook of how you can have your breakthrough. Well, yeah, if you're interested in that, the recordings are now available. You can purchase those by going to coaching.teamtough.com, and you'll get a workbook with that. And you also get access to a private Facebook group and some other things that I'm putting together. So yeah, check it out. See if it's something you're interested in. The other way that you can get coaches is to actually join Team Tough or join the organization. Whoever brought you onto this call, ask them if they're a member of Team Tough. And if they are, you get access to all of the same bonuses that they do, just because I do that. I do that for not just my direct team, but anybody that joins my team members. So the reason I say join Team Tough, this isn't meant to be a big sales pitch, okay? The tools that I have within Team Tough provide coaching. It provides coaching, marketing, education, training, so that you can build a business online. And Team Tough also is connected with other teams that are in the internet marketing industry. And so you have instant access to those coaches and mentors, which is really cool. So you instantly have a team, and we're called Team Tough because we're tough, unstoppable, fearless, and free. We have a team of people that come together to help each other. I mean, that's really what we do. We help each other to be successful online. And then, finally, if you're not into the internet business or internet marketing industry, seek out a mentor or coach in your field. So whatever industry that you're looking to get into, or maybe you are looking to set a goal, such as getting fit, then seek out somebody who already is fit and ask them if they'd be willing to be your coach or mentor. Okay? All right. So next step is, how can you tap into my resources? And I already alluded to this on the last slide, but you probably wondered, or maybe you have, I don't know, how does Vashon know this information? I mean, where does she get all of her stuff for these hangouts? Well, I get it because of the industry that I'm in. I have a master's program within my industry, and all of my Team Tough members who have their black card, they have access to all the same training that I have. There's nothing held back. There's no secret sauce. It's all there. You just have to go through it. I think one of the funniest things is a lot of people buy stuff and then they wonder, well, how come I'm not having success? Well, they aren't actually using, they're not going through the training that's provided for them. So, that's one of the neat things is Team Tough has access to this training. You can have access to it, whether you use it for your own business. It's all educational software, training, videos, workbooks, things like that, plus a blog. You can have access to all that and use it for your own business. Or what many people choose to do is they choose to join Team Tough and actually use that stuff as an affiliate. So they resell it. They resell the same stuff I am. So you could do exactly what I'm doing if that's something that you would like to do. So again, get back to the person who invited you on this hangout, if it wasn't me, and say, hey, I'd like to do this. How can I join you? And if they're a member of Team Tough, you will have access to all of the same things that they have. Okay? Sound cool? I hope so. All right, let's go to the next one here. All right, so the next one is a menu of the next 10 down and dirty hangouts. Okay, so at this point, I'm actually going to flip the screen around because I want to share these with you. I didn't get a chance to type all them up in the slide presentation today, but I'm going to go ahead and flip my screen around. All right, so here's what I've got. I have compiled a list. I've got it on my notebook pad here of the most popular topics that have been requested. What I'm going to do is after this hangout, if you're on my list, you'll receive an email, later today that will have this list on it. And I'm actually going to set it up like a survey, and I'd like you to check off your favorite, what you would like to have me do for the next hangouts. And I will organize these according to the most requested, because I've gone through and some of them, I think they're really cool topics. They've been requested of me a couple times. But for those of you that come on these hangouts on a regular basis, I'd like to get your opinion and see what you think as to which ones would be most valuable for you. So I'll just kind of rattle off some of the ones that I've listed. I've got 10 of them here, and you can take notes, but you also will get that email. So and these are not in order, okay? It could be any order. How to host a Google Hangout. I've had a few requests for that. How to make a sales or marketing funnel using ClickFunnels and or lead pages. How to trick out your YouTube channel. A lot of people are using YouTube, and there's some really cool things that it does, and a lot of people aren't making use of that. For instance, how to create end cards for your videos. An end card is at the end of your video. You can have a subscribe button and like a little window that shows upcoming videos that you've done. So that's something that somebody asked me for. How to run a Facebook video ad. So how to run an ad. How to do keyword research and find great topics to write about, like for your blog or to produce a video. How to find income to start a business. We kind of discussed that, but I could go into even more detail on how you can find additional income to start a business or start whatever. How to use YouTube to get leads. A lot of people wonder, can you use YouTube to get leads? Absolutely. And I actually went through several training courses on how to do that, and I'd be willing to share what I've learned on that. Facebook strategy for converting cold leads to warm or hot prospects. This is something I just started about 3 or 4 months ago, and I've been able to quickly build an audience of people that are not in the same business I'm in. And it's been pretty incredible, actually. So I'd like to share that on a hangout sometime. And then the next one is 10 sales killer questions that a prospect has and how to answer them. Like there's a lot of questions that as business owners, you've probably heard, you've probably got asked. Like one of the biggest ones is is this for real? Like for example, and you need to know how to answer those questions. And you need to be able to answer them truthfully and honestly as well, okay? And then the last one is emails that rock. How can you get access to them as well? So I've compiled a list of my best emails that have gotten the highest open rates. And then one of the things I want to do is for those that are on my team, I want to give you access to all of those emails so that you can take them, import them into your own email autoresponder. Obviously, you're going to want to change some of the words so that they match you, but you'll have them at your fingertips. That's something I want to give you. So finally, I want to share something that's cool that I'm going to be starting here in January, actually this Friday. I'm going to be hosting just for Team Tough members. You're going to have exclusive access to me on a weekly hangout on Fridays. The type of stuff we're going to be covering on this hangout is, really going to be about you and growing your business within Team Tough. So, I'm excited about this. It's been requested. We've had a few impromptu ones, but I want to make this really special. So for those of you that have joined Team Tough, joined the business, you will get an invitation soon for this Friday's hangout. If you're not in Team Tough and you're like, man, I really want to be a part of this, shoot me an email and let's see what we can do for you, okay? I don't like to exclude people, but I also want to make sure it's a good fit for you, okay? So shoot me an email and we'll see what we can do for you, okay? So that's my list, and I will send that out to you, and you can vote on which one you'd like to see first or have me do on the next Down and Dirty at 1:30 Central on Monday. And then I will post a calendar of events so that you can plan out the rest of your Down and Dirty attendance based on what you would like to hear and see and do. And the other thing I'd like to do is for those of you that are on Team Tough that are my Black Card members, I would like to hear from you, because what I'd like you to do is on occasion pop out on these Down and Dirty Hangouts and share what's working for you. We haven't done that, and I think it's really important and valuable, and I think that many people could benefit from your knowledge as well. So start thinking about some of the things that you are having success in or that you really have learned how to do that you think others could benefit from, and then we'll have you pop out as well. All right, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and end today's Down and Dirty. I appreciate you being here for these on Monday, and I hope that your new year starts off with a bang and that you have lots of good things going on in your life. So take care. See you next week for a Down and Dirty.